Hello guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're all doing well. Well, today we're gonna have a topic that's a little bit more deep, sad, and it's because, as you know, September is Suicide Prevention Month. What does that mean? It means that we raise awareness about suicide and mental health, and as someone who has been dealing with suicidal thoughts and depression at the age of 14, it's kind of very important to me. So I thought that that I show you my favorite books that has a mental health topic to it. And I want to say a disclaimer before that, because I might say something triggering, so if you're really sensitive to that topic, then I would recommend not watching it. I try my best to not go in full and hard and use trigger content, I don't think. But yeah, I really try to be neutral as good as possible, and yeah, I actually don't know where to start, because suicide is something that is really hard to explain, especially when you have suicidal thoughts and someone comes and says to you, hey, why are you feeling that way? And you have absolutely no idea why, because sometimes you just feel lost, and sometimes it's just that you don't know why you feel that way, and it is kind of okay, because we all feel lost at some point, but it's important to remember who we are, and that it gets better, because it's going to get better, that's for sure. I can assure you that. And I just saw also that today is Suicide Prevention Day, so yeah, that's why I'm doing this video today. And I think we should get started. Just get over it now. It was a long and messy intro, but let's do it. So the first book that I want to show you is Our Chemical Hearts by Crystal Sutherland. I have to admit, it is a while since I have read this book. I think 2 or 3 years ago, so I don't remember it well, but I remember that I loved it because the main character, wait, that's not what I tried to say. Her name is Grace, and she was this bubbly personality who had a lot of friends, who was very popular and all that stuff, but then she lost someone very close to her, and she just shut down and wore only his clothes and all that stuff, and she wasn't really ready to find new love. But there's this guy Henry that is so drawn to her. And yeah, like I said, I don't remember much, but I remember that the mental health rep in this one was actually pretty good, so I would recommend this simply because of that. I have to reread this again so I can tell you actually why I loved it, but I remember that I loved the mental health rep was very good in here, so yes, this should be definitely on your TBR. The next book that we have is it's a young adult story as well, but the mental health rep in this one isn't that obvious. So I have seen people who said that they don't get the main character's decision in this book to take her own life, and I was like, dude, she was depressed from the beginning of this book, so maybe we haven't read the same story, but the book I'm talking about is Eliezer and Her Monsters. Eliezer is 16 or 17. She's not very popular. She has actually no friends besides her online friends, and she has this graphic novel online called Monsters, and she's really popular, so on the internet, not in real life. And then she's going to meet this guy whose name I have forgotten. Wallace. His name was Wallace. And they kind of became friends, fell eventually in love, and just because she spent so much time with Wallace and his friends, she just don't have much time to do her graphic novels, and that takes a real toll on her because this graphic novel was everything for her. It's just her life, okay? So imagine you have something that's so important to you and suddenly you don't have time for that anymore, and you just grow really depressed just because of that. And but that wasn't the only thing. Someone leaked that she is the author of this graphic novel, and everything went downhill. And yeah, she didn't took it very well. She lied to people, she lied to Wallace, and yeah, that's why she was really, really upset and sad about. And then she decided to make a dumb decision, but gladly Wallace could told her not to do that. And yeah, as I said, the mental health rap in this one isn't that obvious, but it's a good one once you see it. So Eliezer and Her Monsters definitely should be on your TBR, should definitely be read by people who feel a little bit anxious about real life. So yeah, that's that. Another book. I think we all have at least seen the movie, and if not, then you should, because reasons. And that is The Perks of Being a Wallflower. This is a young adult book that is very, very intense, if you ask me, because it has child abuse, child sexual abuse in here. We have suicide, we have depression, we have the whole range that you actually could imagine. And I think the author did such a good job on this book, because Charlie, the main character, tried to take his own life at the beginning, and after he did some therapy and recovered from it, he had to go back to his normal life, which means going back home, going back to school, and try to live the life like a normal teenager. But he really struggles with that, because there is actually a lot of things that he just shut down his throat and don't want to relive it again. So I don't know, this book is just so amazing. And beside that child sexual abuse, I could actually relate to Charlie, because being in school and feeling the way you feel, like being that awkward outsider, is really hard actually, and that made me connect to him on a level that I cannot explain. But The Perks of Being a Wallflower, like I said, is a book that definitely should be read. I think it's one of the best mental health books out there. But yeah, I just love it. Another book which to me is very important is, what a surprise probably, but if you follow me on my Instagram, you probably know that specific book, and that is All the Bright Places. All the Bright Places has a special place in my heart because when I read this book first, I was very, very depressed. I was in such a low that you guys cannot imagine. So reading this book was an eye-opener for me. I know that Theodore, the main character, is going to die because, like I said once in a video, I guess, the first sentence in this book is today a good day to die? And from there you actually can take that he is not going to recover from his depression, bipolar disorder. And no, so I kinda knew what I'd dive into when I started this book, but I never expected that reaction that I had after I finished it. Because when I finished this, I closed the book. You cannot imagine how much I've cried, but I closed this book, tears on my face, and I was staring in my dark room because it was obvious midnight or past midnight after I finished it, normal hours, and I was staring in my dark room, and I was so upset that Finch took his own life. Like, he did not. Why did he do that? That was such a dumb decision. And I could not believe it, because he could have been such a great future with Violet, the other main character in this book. And I was like, dude, why? Is life really so hard that you really take your own life? Is Violet not enough for you? And that made me think. And I just realized that when I was upset about a book character not having a future because he decided to take his own life, I said to myself, when you're mad about Finch, you should be mad about yourself, simply because you have a future. Your future is in your own hands. And that really made me think. So I sat here and I was really, what is you doing? What do you do with your life? Is that the life you want? And I said, no, it's not. It's definitely not. So it really made me rethink about everything. I really didn't want it to cry, but here I am now. But yeah, All the Bright Places is my life changer. Really, it just made me overthink so many things, and I'm glad that this book exists. So maybe it helped. When it helped me, it could help you. So All the Bright Places is definitely the book that gives you all the feels and that makes you actually think about your own personal life. And yeah, I don't know what to say otherwise about this book. It's just really amazing, and I'm glad that it exists in my life, because without it, I don't know where I would be right now. So there's that. We're gonna get to calm down a little bit now, because we don't want the crying face anymore. We're gonna get to the last book now, which is a life changer as well. It's not a young adult book. It's more kind of a self-help book. Cal. It's a kind of a self-help book, and that is Reasons to Stay Alive by Matt Haig. Matt Haig, first of all, is an amazing writer. I have the feeling that he's the only one who can actually describe how it feels to be depressed and sad and have an anxiety. And all he actually did was writing down his own journey in this book, his own experiences that he had with his mental health and his suicidal thoughts. And I just love it so much. Like I said, there are his own thoughts written down in here. There are also tips how to overcome a panic attack, or if you just feel very, very low. It's actually totally worn out so far, because when I get into a weird mood, I open this book, I look for my favorite quotes in here, and I immediately feel a little bit better, because this book shows you you are not alone. Because here's an actional person who tells you that it's okay to be not okay, that your mind is just very, very, you know, and that gives you hope. That gives you hope that you don't feel alone anymore, and it gives you hope that things get better. And watching Matt Haig today as he goes and writes amazing books, having a wonderful family, traveling, living his life. Even I am at this low point at the moment, but I can overcome it, and I can have a life that I want to have. And I think this book is just the answer, not to all of your problems, but to some of your problems. So Matt Haig, thank you very much for writing it down. Thank you so much to sharing your experiences with us. I will be forever thankful for it. And that was it, actually. I thought I had more books about mental health, but the ones that I read weren't like really good. So there are some books like 30 Reasons Why by J. Asher, or Without Merit by Colleen Hoover. I was like, what the fuck are you thinking? Don't do that. That does not represent mental health, at least not very well. So yeah, I thought I had more books, but I didn't. But I still hope that there are some of them that you want to read or not. Depends on you. And what I actually just wanted to say, even when you're at your lowest, please always remember that it gets better. Life is a roller coaster, I know that. Once you're up, it can get down, but remember, you always find your constant again, your constant line again. And it is so important to remember that you are not alone. So if you need to talk, there are plenty of numbers you can call or actually write to. I'm gonna link them down below, so you don't have to look for yourself. It is always important to have friends you can talk to, but I want to tell you, nothing can help you more than a professional therapist. It's just own experience. I can tell you that it gets a lot easier to talk with a professional, because they know how to help you. They know how to deal with certain things, because the danger of having your friends worrying too much about you is not okay in some cases, because sometimes your problems can be really, really heavy for other people that are related to you or that you know. So please seek out professional help. It's only the best for you. It's not a shame to go to therapy or any other places that could help, and it's just for your own good. So if you're depressed, if you're suicidal, remember you are not alone, and you can get a lot of help, and you have to go through this on your own. So please be sure that you're okay and that you live your happy life. And if you don't feel that right now, just remember it really gets better. Trust me on that. Just trust me. And yeah, with that, I want to end this video. I hope you didn't feel too down right now, but yeah, it's just something that has to be said, okay? Because people still feel very ashamed about themselves having a problem, and it's something that you should not be ashamed of, because it's actually pretty normal that you go through phases in your life that are not so good. So it's okay to seek out for help, and it's definitely okay to admit that you have a problem. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say. So I hope you liked this video, and I hope I could help you at least a little bit, and I see you in the next one. So